Thanks. My electronic gadgets have been failing me, so hopefully this will work. I just want to say thanks to Jimmy and for asking me back. This is really a lot of fun to be here, and also to Becky, wherever Becky is, and Kim, and the whole crew who's made this, certainly for me, and I know for all of you, an extremely enjoyable and happy occasion. Yeah, round of applause for them. So last year at the Q&A, at the end of the Q&A, we all had a statement that we would make that we want everybody to go away with. And the statement 2 years in a row, and I'm probably going to say it again this year, that I had said was to get strong. So since last year till now, how many of you out there did what I asked and took up a strength training program and got strong? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How does it feel?
Terrific.
Feel good?
Yes.
I agree. Now I need glasses this year, when last year I didn't. So low carb isn't doing anything good for me in that respect. Yeah, well, I do that. For those of you people who haven't adopted a resistance training program yet, of any kind, doesn't have to be the way I teach it necessarily, but for those of you who haven't, I hope that this talk today will sort of encourage you, will do two things: encourage you to do it, and educate you on some of the ways you can do it that are not exactly the best way to do it, and hopefully I'll convince you that perhaps the way I might suggest that you do it, you'll adopt that fashion, that method. So let's see if this gadget works. It did. You like that mugshot? My daughter took that. She's like, "Dad, you got to use this for the show." So I said, okay. Now, you all know me by now. When I talk about these kinds of things, especially with my clients, whether it's exercise, whether it's low carbohydrate eating, I don't pull any punches. I tell it like it is, and I'll tell you the truth. I will never tell you or my clients anything that it is you want to hear. All right. So, and I also encourage, if at any point during the slideshow you have questions, like I haven't made sense, or you completely disagree, or you hate my guts, and you just want to ask me a question, just stop, raise your hand, I'll call it out, and then we'll continue with the presentation. All right. So the question is, why should you believe me? And just because I say so isn't really good enough. I don't have a master's degree or any kind of specialized degree in exercise science or nutrition. I'm not a mad scientist like the old, maybe Dr. Volek, or not mad, but really strong, in fact. And I'm not God. Who knows what MD stands for? Not medical doctor. Who can tell me? So I'm going to make enemies right now, starting now. What's that?
Medical deity?
Yeah, me deity. Present company accepted, of course. So, now, this is why you should believe me. My daughter took that picture too. Now, I use this one slide a lot, and I use it because I'm sure you all know that in the field of nutrition, there are an enormous amount of myths and falsehoods. Dr. Westman's already talked about that, Dr. Vernon. But I would say if there's one field that far surpasses nutrition in terms of the nonsense that you hear, it's fitness and exercise. How many people do CrossFit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now I'm going to make 7 new enemies. All right. Well, let's begin. The main thing you hear about CrossFit is that CrossFit, and I think this is a universal truth, CrossFit turns your body into a Paleolithic Cro-Magnon machine where you can, like, you know, crawl under logs and leap over rocks and do all kinds of things that you can't do or you couldn't accomplish with conventional resistance training. The fact of the matter is that while these folks look very, very fit, they're not necessarily fit because they do CrossFit. They have the kinds of bodies that allow them to do the CrossFit, and CrossFit, of course, confers upon that person increased strength. Or does it make you short in either one of these cases? Now, so what is it that it also could do? What can CrossFit also maybe accomplish? Now, not that this happens to everyone, but this is a fairly common happenstance of CrossFit. Your legs get injured, your hands get torn up. It's in order to perform at a top level, you are going to subject yourself to a lot of danger. And the reason why I say this to you is because I want you to understand that if you enjoy CrossFit, you should do it. If you enjoy it because you get camaraderie out of it, it's something that you can embrace for fun. Yes?
What's CrossFit?
Ah. Okay, CrossFit was started, I think, in 1997, 1998. I forget the name of the gentleman who began it. But essentially what it is a compilation of many different events that people across the world now challenge themselves to see who is the quote-unquote fittest person on Earth. So they'll do rope climbing, free weight, powerlifting snatches, tire climbing, swims, jogs on one leg. You name it, they'll compete against each other doing it. So, but here's the thing. I have a lot of clients who say, hey, Fred, I started doing CrossFit. Isn't that great? And I said, well, why are you doing that? He goes, well, you know, because I got to get, you know, I have to be explosively fit. You know, I have to, well, what's going to happen if, you know, I get chased by a dog? You know, how am I going to get away? You know? You know, but what they don't understand is, and they're not even necessarily having fun. They'll injure their ankle and they'll say, oh, I can't do that machine now, Fred. I can't, doctor, I blew out my ACL. I can't do that now. So what they've done is they've started to engage in a practice that rather than help them, and it does in some ways, also hurts them. And that's something that I want you all to understand, that you don't have to perform these types of activities in order to give yourself the strongest and the healthiest body possible via exercise. So, in the end, what CrossFit does for you is it makes you stronger. And that's a good thing. But it does so in a manner that is, or can be, often quite dangerous. So, how many people here do Pilates? One. Just one? Oh, two. Okay. Three. And do you enjoy it? Yes. Okay. Again, that's another good thing. But here's the bad thing. Now, this is an actual quote from Mari Windsor's infomercial, where she states that basically, you know, and she, if you want to get the kind of body a dancer has, those long, lean, beautiful muscles of a dancer, that you do these Pilates movements, and those long, lean muscles will be yours. Now, if you're squeamish, you've got 3 seconds to close your eyes. If you really want to elongate your muscles, and correct me if I'm wrong, doctors, this is how you'd go about doing it. You'd open it up, you'd take the origin, and you'd move it closer to the insertion, or vice versa, close you up, and you'd have long, lean muscles. But obviously, this is not a very good thing. So, what is it that Pilates does for you? Can anybody answer? Works your core, but what specifically is it doing for you? Makes you stronger. But now you see this woman in this Pilates reformer? Do you see that almost the entire weight of her body is on top of her cervical spine? This is not good.